Hey, good evening everyone. Welcome to our Sunday night live stream. So I know Carrie's here because we had a little bit of conversation and he's almost to his halfway point on a 1,000-day journey. So that's awesome. Hey, Justin Delaney, are you already home? Wow. Our awesome moderator Attila is here. So, and Sharon is here. Hey Sharon, good to see you. Love seeing that brisket that you cooked. It looked like perfection. Hey Brenda, good to see you tonight. And Tutu-Q-Cat. Wow. Oh, hey Renee, good evening. Nice to see you. And again, thank you for the thoughtful bag. I appreciate that. So, I'm gonna get a few things rolling because I got a lot going on tonight, even though content from a verbal standpoint, probably not nearly as much. Let's see. Oh, hey, and Ella Strange just got home. House is erect. You should just relax tonight. You just got home. I see Rocky Mountain Girl is here. So, let's see. But, yeah, our house is always a disaster for a couple days after we get back from vacation. And this last time I went camping, and I came back and had a little cold for a few days. So it's still a little bit messy, but today I made a lot of progress on it. So what I have today is this is what I'm going to call like your cheap daily drinker coffee. This is just your BJ's brand. It is your Colombian coffee, 100% Arabica. But I thought that since it's not a really expensive coffee, it still smells great. And we talk about that, like, you know, we can't be buying bougie coffees all the time. So, let's get this, it's pre-ground too, so you know, but it does work, and especially in this application where we're going to be adding stuff, so our coffee does not have to be utter perfection. Although I'm going to tell you that for a day drinker, it's not bad. So let's get it going. I've got my filter and my V60 all ready to go here. Got the coffee in. We're just going to get it brewing so we can talk about the rest. So, and it's your standard, you know, because it's pre-ground, you know it's a 3 grind. It's what it's going to be for the 360. I'm a little stronger today. And I can't tell you how much I want my coffee this evening, but that's why we're anxious to get it brewing. So, let's see. Hey Rickwin, good to see you this evening. Let's see, who else do we got? Okay, just making sure I'm not missing anything. So, but this is the Wellesley brand, which is the BJ's generic brand, and we do like a lot of their products, and I'll talk to you a little bit more about why after we get a few things going. Let's get the water. You know the drill by now, right? V60, we make a little well in the middle. We're going to bloom it, so you start with your 195 degree water and just give it a little bit, enough to get all the grounds wet. And now we'll let it sit. We'll keep this holding. So, and you let that bloom so that it opens up the coffee grounds and lets the water permeate in, which makes the brew a nicer brew. It helps mellow out the taste and all of those good, lovely things. Well, Carrie, there's nothing wrong with water, and actually you should know that if you, except for it's probably really warm, you can always warm up water, and it changes how it impacts your body, not from like a health standpoint, but like if you know, room temperature water is really nice. Cold water takes longer to hydrate you than room temperature water, and in the winter warm water is going to help you regulate and stay warm. It also is nice on your digestive system. So it's my just regular ice water. So today what I'm doing is a coconut cream iced coffee. Because it has been hot, I thought cold drinks, and maybe, you know, while you don't want to have a big fat-filled coffee taking the place of a lot of your regular food, once in a while something different is a treat. And coconut milk, I've got the, I don't want to spill it, to bring it up, but it's just the Thai Kitchen full fat coconut milk. Because it's summer, it's already all mixed together, the coconut water and the cream. In the winter, it separates and the cream is a big thick layer on the top. So in the winter, you probably need to bring this to a room temperature and get it more incorporated, or even give it a whip. So let's see. Oh, Just Jen goes back to work on Wednesday and feels like it's too soon. I hear that. So, oh, you'll get home around 3 o'clock driving through Arkansas. Well, that makes sense. Well, I'm glad that you're here. It's delightful. And I have missed everybody. It's been quiet, and, you know, I was out with no signal, so I couldn't get into some live streams. Work's been slammed, the whole 9 yards. So, I see that Renee's mentioning that on the cruise she loved seeing everyone's 20th night pics. I agree. Those 20th party pictures were fantastic. Y'all looked amazing. And I know most of them aren't here because obviously traveling. So when they get back, hopefully they hit the replay so they can hear us talking about how amazing all of those Roaring 20s pics were. So let's get the brew going. Now that our grounds have swollen up and are fully hydrated, now we go for the brew, which again, you pour in the middle and you swirl towards the out. The nice thing about this coffee is I see that immediately the crema comes right to the top. So, you know, the smell is super smooth. There's no pungency or tinge on the nostrils. So that's definitely a treat. Let me just get a spoon here to give it a little stir. You always do that to help with the drawdown and to get the fines. So you do a couple stirs in each direction. It's good. You've been tasting it before it finishes brewing. That's real nice. Now, you may have noticed that I put a little more coffee than usual, or maybe not. Instead of the 3 tablespoons I would normally put in, I put 4, and that's because we do want it to be pretty well concentrated because it's going to go over the ice, and then we're going to add a coconut cream on top of it. Now, for some of you, if you need things a little sweeter, you may want a little bit of sweetener. I recommend a little bit of monk fruit extract. That's a nice pairing with the coconut cream. So, while we give this 3 to 4 minutes to brew, let's take a look here and see. Let's see. Oh, Carrie says he didn't see the Roaring 20s pics, but he's seen some of the pictures from the 2 Crazy Keto and Keto Chow, and they were cool. So, he said he can watch the diving videos all day. Yeah, they did some stuff, right? So, for tonight's recipe, so we're getting ready for convention. I know, like I just came back from conventions, right? But here we are again. It's summer and it's convention season. And one of the things I like to do is get some frozen meals ahead. Sometimes we just take sandwiches and I make a bunch of buns and we live on that. But the last time we went, we made like frozen meals. And can I just say, it was super nice to not have to go to a restaurant for a really good meal. And so I decided I wanted to work on some of that and get those ahead. Also, I just felt like having this. So basically, I thought the side dish, because already in our freezer I have some smoked pulled pork, I have some smoked pork loin, we have some sliced roast beef, we have some smoked sausages. So I was like, what goes with all of that? Wow, well, we're gonna be, I thought, you know what about party casserole? That's gotta be nice. Oh, let's see. Oh, Just Jen Delaney says she got to fangirl over carnivorous me. She's a lovely person. Yeah, I haven't had the pleasure, so I'm hoping that they come to Ketopalooza. You know, I wasn't like super excited about Maria Emmerich, but I like a lot of the other guests that they're having. So and of course, the main reason I go to Ketopalooza is to see all my friends. So I'm looking forward to that. All right. So what I thought was side dish, and I'll eat a little teeny bit of it tonight, but really most of this is just going to go into containers and into the freezer. We might put aside enough so that I can have a little bit of it tomorrow, and maybe a couple other people can have a little side dish. I don't know, maybe 50-50 chance, because I think it might be nice reheated at breakfast with a fried egg on top and maybe a couple of jalapeno poppers. But loaded cauliflower casserole. This is a party dish. You take it to potlucks because everybody loves it, keto or not. Hey Jen, nice to see you. Welcome to the Radical Geek Livestream. So what I have here, and I put all of the ingredients in the description. I had to use my giant bowl because I didn't have room in any of my clear bowls. Hey Mike Sandy. So I have all of my riced cauliflower, and yes, I pre-cooked it. Just so you know, you want to pre-cook your, even though it's going in the casserole, and you think it's going to cook nicely in the oven, you actually need to pre-cook it. And if you steam it, then you need to set it and lay it out so that water can evaporate, because you want it to be good and dry. This is really very rice textured. If you can see, you know, there's not a lot of liquid in here. It's had time to cool back down, and it's very loose. So you can see that even though it's not in a clear bowl, you can see that it just falls. It doesn't stick anymore because the water has evaporated completely from it. I actually like to do the very bad thing and microwave it. I know, the microwave, the cooking implement that people should not have and utilize, but in this particular case, it works. Let's start the drawdown. Oh ho ho, look at that. So you take your big old mass of riced cauliflower. Generously, we're going to salt in this. Oh, and Sharon says that KPL is going to be great fun this year. So, hey Mike Sandy, I noticed that I know you've been doing tons and tons of work on your house, and today it rained. So did you finally get a chance to like rest a little bit? Because man, it's been brutal lately. So let's see. Oh, and Rickwin lets Carrie know he hasn't been much into web development. Anyways, generously salt, because we love salt, right? It just tastes good, and it adds a lot to the casserole. So then I also like black pepper. You can use white pepper, or you don't have to use pepper if you don't want to, if you don't like it, but I think it really jumps up the flavor. And I forgot to get an egg, so just 1 second. Hang on, I'm grabbing it. I also forgot my cheese, which is in here. I just shredded it up about a few minutes ago. Boy, that looks really bright on the camera, doesn't it? So, hey, you know what? It's better now if I forget ingredients, I just go off the camera for a second. It was before when we has to like bother like everybody in the house, like, hey, could someone go and get an egg? Bring it to the studio. Oh, my grinder's not grinding. That's okay, I have enough. Oh, I had plenty. That's probably why I wasn't grinding. Oh yeah, it was just full. That's plenty. I am also going to spice it up a little bit with some Hatch Valley chili flakes that I'm going to grind in there. So just a little, because I want it to be nice for me but not hot for other people. So, and I didn't put chili flakes in the recipe because normally, you know, that's a very optional thing. Oh, hey Sky. No clue what's going on here. Is I am brewing a coffee, and we're gonna brew a little more. It should continue to draw down just fine. We're making a coconut cream iced coffee, and then I am making our party side dish, our old favorite, the fully loaded Caulirice casserole. And this is another reason you need to let that, after you cook your cauliflower, you need to let it cool down, because you're going to put a raw egg in there. That's a casserole thing. You always need some kind of a binder. So you're going to throw an egg. That kind of helps it all with setting up. Sorry, I got egg on my fingers, so now we got to do a quick wash. Yuck. So anyways, I'd like to hear how everybody's weekend has been going. I know that, like I said, if you weren't cruising, you know, what else were you up to? Let's see. Oh, and Sky says hey to all the peeps. So here we are. So we've got our one egg. Now we have 2 bricks of softened cream cheese. That's going to go right in here. We have our pasted herbs with a little bit of avocado oil. Tell you what, it's flexible. They don't have to be pasted with olive oil. That's my preference. Or olive oil, avocado oil. I just like it. Just really opens up. You can paste it right up in the molcajete, and I just think it really brings forward the flavor. I've got some minced onion and garlic, and it's just a little of each because you don't need a ton, but I do like what it brings to the casserole. So I feel bad because like there's like a lot of stuff in here. Trust me, it's delicious, but in my head I'm putting so many things in here that I'm in my head. I'm hearing that everybody's so creative, but no, it's actually quite delicious. This is a potluck favorite. I can tell you that when I do bring this to places, people eat it. It rarely do I ever have leftovers because it is very, very tasty. I'm gonna squish some of this up a little bit to kind of get the mix going. And the nice thing is you do need it to be fairly incorporated, but you do not have to have it like into a total mush. You just want, you don't want one big cream cheese blob in the middle. You want to get it somewhat mixed in there. The egg too, because it's going to bind things. And we'll do more mixing here as we go. Let's see. What do we got going on? Oh yeah, Carrie says he's trying to stay cool with the house. So he's getting the old Mercury thermostat out and got a new one in, so hopefully he'll be able to run AC soon. Wow, that'll be nice. Yeah, we've had to put the AC on a little bit here because it has been so steamy. Let's see. Oh, Brenda's a quilter. You know what? That is an awesome skill. Do you have one of those? Are you a hand quilter or a machine quilter, or do you have one of those giant long arm machines? So, all right. Anyway, so I've got this. I've got the mix started, and then now we're gonna get in here with our grated parmesan, our bacon crumbles, because that's the important part, really. If you don't put the bacon, what good is it, right? And then now our shredded cheddar. So really, it's very simple. There's not a whole lot to it. I mean, yes, getting the bacon prepped ahead of time and cooking the cauliflower. I tell you, as much as I would like to say that you could, that you have to grate your own, you do not. But I would not buy the kind in the packages that sits on the shelf. Get the frozen kind. And basically we're just going to mix that up. I've got my oven preheated to 425, and it's going to cook for about 30 minutes. Which sounds like a long time, but you really got to let the cheese meld. The cheese and egg to casserolize it. Is that a word? Casserolize? Hey, exchange student 2. So let's see. You also need a new thermostat. We invested in a smart thermostat. It's the Nest, and it's made a big difference. Or at least I feel like it has. Although, like right now, because we've been a little bit on the grumpy side, I went ahead and made it a little cooler than we might normally do so, and we'll have to stop that because it's expensive, but it really needed it. So anyway, so that is really everything we need to do for this casserole. Well, not everything, we still gotta bake it, but as for the mixing, that's it. There you go. And it's gonna drop right in here. Please don't let me just pour it on the counter because it's a lot and it's heavy. And wouldn't that be just the way? Hopefully not. We're just gonna muscle it in. And sometimes you wind up with a little extra, and all you do is you just bake it off in another dish. But I think, oops, I know it. I was gonna drop something on the counter. We'll get it. Glad that I just cleaned the counter. Doop. You didn't see that. I know it's on camera, but seriously, I know. But I literally just used bleach on the counter, so it's good. So let's see. Now we are just going to spread it out, make it kind of even. And it's kind of nice. It kind of, sometimes you want to put something for like some more color, but trust me, it's tasty enough. There's enough on it. You just leave it be. It can be kind of bacony looking, but you want it to more or less be about the same across the board. You don't want like some really thick spots, so that one spot gets all crispy and the other spot is not. Of course, I spilled some more on the counter. We're just gonna clean that up. Wash my hands again in a second, but let's go ahead and get this mixed up. I didn't want stuff to burn on the edge, so there we go. And now it just goes in the oven, 425. We'll set the timer for 30 minutes. And boom, that's going to be like 8 or 9 servings. Now let's make our coffee and then we can chat. I still love the speaker because it has the pour spout. Oh, I have too much coffee. I don't have too much coffee. We'll drink it in a little while. Let's get our coconut cream. And like I said, this was already, because it's warm, it's all mixed in. You just start spooning it over the top. And we're gonna put like 4 tablespoons. And I happen to think that coconut cream or coconut milk from the can is pretty sweet, even the unsweetened kind. So again, that's going to be your preference, but if you want to add sweetener, get a liquid one. And later we'll just put this into a jar and save it. You can see that it stays on the top, so you do kind of have to give it, or you want to make a big mess on. Well, I'm spilling everything today. What is up with me? It's not my evening, eh? So Jen Delaney is asking if I finished my Jot coffee, and the solid answer is that it has not been touched since the live stream. So anyways, there we go. We just give it this little bit of a stir. It's delicious. But if you don't like coconut, you won't like this. And it looks kind of green on the camera, but in person, it's just like your regular creamy coffee color. It's perfect for having been just a bit too overwarm recently. Oh, you all, why am I so messy today? I mean, I know why. It's twofold. But that's why we have emergency Clorox wipes. We'll at least just get where I was spilling and then worry about the rest later, right? Anyways, it's just this part where we're gonna be touching things and having foods. At any rate, let's see. Oh, let's see. Coffee is just stir crazy with the straw from Carrie. Oh, and Attila says a good portion of his woodworking knowledge came from YouTube. You know, but YouTube is awesome for learning a lot of really cool stuff. I learn quite a lot on YouTube when I want to watch them and pay attention. So, is that a Royal, and Sky's asking if it was a Royal D coconut. No. This is the Thai Kitchen organic coconut milk. But I like it. It's really, I really like it. And since we only used a little bit, now I'll use the rest up in like some creamies or some, I find that I like the coconut milk really good with the chocolate core keto chow. I also like coconut milk in some very strong black teas. So it's not like it won't get used. And I find that it really sates me in a nice way. So, before we get to talking some more about the coffee, I know, coffee talk, and we hardly talked about the coffee, but we'll get to it. I did a thing. Oh, and Tutu Cute Cat says almost 30 minutes in and no Dyson. That's because he is right down here at my feet. Rocky Mountain Girl, hang tight, and well, let me just get it for you. Pasted. So I have molcajete, and you have this, the pestle. You put your herbs in here, and you pour oil in there, and you give it a hearty grind. I won't do it on the camera because it makes a lot of noise. But when you do that, that's what pasted means. And truthfully, you don't have to do it all old-fashioned like I do in the molcajete. You can use a food processor or something like that. It just brings out the flavors in a little bit of a different way. But Dyson, this way. You don't want to come this way? I tried, guys. He doesn't want to come. It's his way. Let's see. I lost track. All right, so anyways, so that's what the pasted in oil means. So it's just basically ground up in there. Breaking up the leaves like that intensifies the flavor a bit. You can also buy it in tubes and all kinds of stuff. I like the one in the tubes, but it has dextrose in it. So, But this year I bought some plants. And I never got them actually outside because it's just been kind of chaotic. And so they've been growing like wild back here. And so I have fresh herbs that I can snip off. I've got some parsley, the rosemary I got this year is called a barbecue rosemary. And it is really lovely. So, yep. And let's see. Also, I did a thing. Let's try it. Alright, you guys. I thought about doing it on the camera, but I didn't want to do it twice, and I wanted to try it and tell you my opinion. I did a thing. This is the cottage cheese ice cream. Truthfully, I don't know. Hopefully it sat here long enough. Actually, it still looks kind of liquidy. We'll see. But we should still be able to taste it. Exchange student 2 didn't grow any herbs this year. Oh, yeah, tragedy. All right, so it's still liquidy in the middle, but we're gonna taste it anyways. And let me get 2 little dishes. I think what I'm gonna do is after the live stream, I'm gonna portion it out into a couple creamy containers so that it can freeze solid in there, and then we can whip it, or well, whatever it is the creamy does, Paco Jedi-eyes it, or shave it, yeah. Yes, I used blueberries. So I used 1 container of the whole fat, good culture cottage cheese. I blended it with half a pint of blueberries, and I was worried about the texture, so I added a tablespoon of allulose. And I did this at 4 o'clock, thinking that was plenty of time because they say freeze it for 1 to 2 hours. But it's still jiggly, so it did not freeze all the way. So we'll get it from the edge. And I know that Attila is paying attention because he's talking here, so Attila, type in here if you want me to scoop you one into here that you can run down and grab. Well, it is frozen on the edge. I can't scoop that. So, it's a combination of textures. I'm not sure about that. So, it's liquid in the middle. I mean, it's thick, and then it's too frozen on the sides. Let's see. I don't know. It's too frozen on the sides and too liquidy in the middle. Okay, Attila's going to try it, so we'll get a second opinion. And Renee says scoop one there. But yeah, I really leaned into the blueberry. I thought blueberry was a good tester flavor. Mostly because blueberry is a favorite of mine and it doesn't have seeds. I don't know why I'm scooping so much of this out. Like as if... Alright, let's see. It's here. You don't even have to come on the camera if you don't want to. So, there we go. Alright, so let's see about this. I don't know. I'm like I'll tell you the thing that I have is they're touting it as this super amazing low carb thing. But when you add all that cottage cheese and the fruit plus sweetener, it's not that low carb. I mean, it's lower than ice cream, sure, but let's see. It is. Sky says it sounds kind of crunchy, like ice milk. Where it was frozen too much, it was definitely crunchy, hard, and then like I said, the center was still liquid. So I'm already not loving that part, and it's basically like goop here. So, all the raving from these TikToks lied to you. Oh, there's the dog. All right, put him down. There's Dyson, everybody, and there's our awesome moderator, Attila, and a technology person who fixes everything when it breaks. So, I don't know, like everybody's raving and going nuts for it, like it's the greatest thing ever. I was hoping that it was going to taste cheesecakey, which is what the Keto twins said. It just tastes like fruit and cottage cheese, only colder. So, I mean, fortunately, I like fruit and cottage cheese. Just Jen says that was not a dog, that was an oversized dust bunny. So, yeah, that is what Pomeranians look like. They are nutty little dogs. So now he's hanging out back there. I mean, it tastes good, but it's just, yes, it's just cottage cheese and blueberries. So it tastes like cottage cheese and blueberries. Not that cottage cheese and blueberries are bad, but like for all the raving on TikToks and stuff, yeah, they are lying to you. Now they did say add protein powder, but I decided that protein powder was going to just make it taste like protein powder. I might try it again with some with a keto chow, but again, I just don't see what it would be. It's not bad, but again, I like cottage cheese. If you don't like cottage cheese, don't get it. Don't do it. It doesn't make it not taste like cottage cheese. It just changes the texture. I mean, I like that it's cold. And Rocky Mountain Girl says cottage cheese and fruit is delicious. So, obviously we'll eat it. To be honest, I'm tempted to just put it back in the fridge and let it be, I don't know, and then maybe whip in some of the, oh, I forgot what I was saying. Oh, just whip in a packet of the blueberry pie keto chow to thicken it up into more of like a, I don't know, pudding texture. I don't know. I mean, I'll eat it. It doesn't taste horrible. It doesn't taste bad. Let me put it that way. But if I was expecting ice cream like they show on there, this wasn't it. And Sky says ice cream made with anything other than cream is an abomination. Now, I'm just going to say, I don't know that I agree with that, because I've had ice cream made with coconut cream that was really quite tasty. But I will say it's not a bad treat. And 22Q Cat says they'll stick to their keto chow creamy ice creams. Yeah. Now, to be fair, I do think if I put this into the creamy pints and we spin it, it'll have that nice ice cream texture. I think putting it in a bowl and just freezing it, So, but I am going to eat this little portion that I gave myself. I'm going to put this in the fridge and let it thaw back out a little bit and then put it into creamy containers. Exchange Student 2 says she'll creamy it. Yep. You know, I might add some of this coconut to it. Blueberries and coconut go, right? No, I did. And Mike Sandy is asking if I greased the pan for the cauliflower casserole. Nope, I did not. There is enough cheese and bacon in there that we do not need to grease the pan. Maybe little bits of it will stick, but not enough to really have any concern over. So, I always tell you guys, I'll tell you the truth about stuff, and I guess I was disappointed because my expectations from other keto people are a little higher than your average TikTok. So when everybody was like, it's just like cheesecake, I was buying that because it was cottage cheese. And I was buying that it could get a cheesecake tone to it. So what'd you think? What'd you think, Attila? And just Gentilini, the answer to your question about whether I got my June keto crate is a solid. I got it in the mail yesterday. And so tomorrow I'm going to open it up, or maybe even tonight if I feel ambitious. I will open it up and do the rundown. Like, I guess after this, I probably could do that. I probably could just stand here, open it up, and film it. 22Q Cat saying we could maybe add a little xanthan gum to the blueberry ice cream to prevent the ice crystals like we do for keto chow. I don't use xanthan gum. I don't like it. And I just, something about it, like we've added, I also don't like tarragon. Something about it is really off-putting to me. So, no to that for me. But I'm not against trying a couple different things, including, like I said, afterwards, I'm going to put it into the creamy container. I'd add some of this coconut milk to it. And like I said, lucky for me, I do like cottage cheese, and I do like blueberries. And Attila agrees with me. It's okay, but we're just eating the cottage cheese. It was worth trying, though. And Dennis says he benefited from Kim Howerton's advice on pre-blending the cottage cheese. It's very smooth. We blended the heck out of the cottage cheese. So. And Exchange Student 2, back to the casserole. Can you mix it with a KitchenAid mixer? So that depends on your preference. If you mix it with a KitchenAid mixer, you risk breaking down the cauliflower, and then it would become more of a mash. And so it won't have the light bit of the texture to it. However, it still tastes delicious. So let's see. Just Jen Delaney says, I need to see if before the 15th so they know whether to cancel it or not this month. Okay, well, I will film it. It will be out Tuesday morning. So that's the 13th. So we'll do that. Oh, there were new Porky Good pork rinds. I missed the advertisement. I look forward to trying it because I love their pork rind flavors. And Renee says she's been enjoying large curd cottage cheese lately because it was mentioned and got us craving it. Yeah, I just actually, you know what, a lot of times everybody is very respectful and doesn't ask, just lets me kind of do my own thing. But I was asked a lot, hey, did you try the cottage cheese ice cream? And so I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do it. I've been asked if I was going to make the chips too, but I think the chips look like a lot of work. And I'm sorry, I'm too lazy for that. It's not going to happen. Sky says part of what makes it work is starting with a super dry curd cottage cheese and then pre-blending. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, there was nothing really wrong with it. But it definitely got ice crystally around the edge and was really soft in the middle. It doesn't taste bad. It's just that for all of the talk about it being this amazing super ice cream, I mean, I'm not surprised by this, but it just tastes like cottage cheese and fruit, which is okay. Oh, sweet pork rinds. You know what? I'm not a fan. So maybe I won't be ordering them. So, all right, well, I ate it. I'm looking more forward to cheesy casserole. I guess I'm a savory person. That also might be part of my issue. Let's see. Oh, apple cinnamon sounds like an interesting take. I might try it. I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes. Oh, Exchange Student 2 tried the chips, but the cottage cheese brand didn't work out. Interesting. And Carrie says, so I wouldn't scream over the cottage cheese ice cream. And that answer is no. I 100% think the texture will be improved by using the creamy machine though. So, what I will do is I will be filming my keto crate rundown, and I will go ahead and put run a cottage cheese portion through the creamy and add that onto the end and let you guys know how that switch over works out. But as far as flavor goes, it's just cottage cheese and fruit, but only colder and less texture because it got all blended. So. Ooh, yeah, maybe they'll be in the keto crate next month. I don't think they would make it in this month unless they really worked hard to get them a pre-release. So. All right, but I do dig the coffee. We still have 10 minutes on the casserole. It's killing me because I would like some. Hang tight with me for a second here. I gotta turn something off. Let's see. In my video configurations. Yep. All right. It was trying to autofocus, which makes it change all the time. So I just turn that off, and that makes it stay consistent. And Carrie says one day he would like a creamy, but he can just use the stand mixer when he makes an ice cream with cream and egg yolks. Honestly, cream and egg yolks is your old standard ice cream. Make it into a custard and you're good to go. Oh, and Carrie says, where's my shovel? Because I dig the coffee. It's kind of this gold straw, don't you think? Hey, Dennis. Oh, I like the scooter emoji. Oh, okay. So first I'm going to tell you about the coffee, then let me circle back now that I said scooter. I got something fun to tell you guys. All right, so Wellesley is BJ's house brand. It's the equivalent to Kirkland from Costco, and I don't remember what they have at Sam's Club. So But I will tell you that whereas, like Kirkland does a lot of good stuff, and while they don't advertise it on their package, you should know that if you look at Wellesley Farms and you look up their coffees, they are fair trade. So they do all the things. You should know that for some of their coffees that they don't advertise it, you have to dig it up, just like you can dig up the sourcing for like Costco stuff, enough research and you can find it. Some of their coffees are partnered with Green Mountain. I don't hate Green Mountain coffee, but it's also not my favorite. This is, even though they're partnered with Green Mountain, I feel like their grind process might be better or something, because I do like the standard morning brew a bit better than I do of a Green Mountain coffee. Sky, there's no judgment here. You're a self-admitted ice cream whore. I don't say that you're an ice cream whore, because then you would eat all of the ice creams and not be picky. You are an aficionado. An aficionado. So that's my take on it. And there's nothing wrong with that. There are some things where I am very picky and other things where I am not. So anyway, so they do fair trade coffee, and they do partnerships with the farms through their fair trade organization. They do sustainability projects. BJ's is a really big give back. So even though they don't go through the effort of advertising it on their packaging, they do all the right things for their coffee. So good to know, and that is likely. And I will also tell you that one thing they do, you won't be able to see it on the camera because it's a little black stamp. They do what a lot of coffees forget to do, a best if used by date. So, and if you go digging up, usually you can find out when their stuff was farmed. But they do have a number on the side. That's where I got a lot of my information, by the way. Did you know you can always call these people and ask them questions? They think that you're like a crazy person, but it's okay. So that's a little thing. That's another reason that I like to buy a lot of the Wellesley Farm products too. The Wellesley Farm eggs are Pete and Jerry's, which is weird because they also sell Pete and Jerry eggs. They have some of their cheeses. Their cheeses are actually a partner with Cabot or Belgioioso. So, you know, it's an interesting thing. You've got to do some research. I will say that I don't like their prepackaged mozzarella. Something's not right with their shredded mozzarella. So, yeah. So that's about the BJ's coffee. I really like it. Like, and it's a good go-to for your everyday, you know, your high quantity coffee. You want, for my special delicious coffees, I have preferences. Let me tell you, you know, if I'm gonna have me a nice cup of coffee, there are standards. When I need a coffee and I need it right now in the morning, you know, it's our brew that we're gonna drink all day long. There you go. This is a good recommendation. Now, I do still like the Lavazza better when it's in at Costco, but everyday drinking, or this is what I also will stick in the large 32 cup pot of coffee, you know, to like serve the guest. I don't feel a lick of bad about it. I will say last year at Ketopalooza, instead of buying something that I knew I liked, I went out on a limb and tried a generic Costco pre-grind coffee, and it was not good. I didn't like it, and I felt bad that that's what we were having, even though everybody was super nice about it, but I was personally disappointed. So we'll be having this year at Ketopalooza. So that's the skinny on that. I'm going to add more of this coffee to my iced coffee, because that's why I brewed extra coffee. Am I right? There we go. Delightful. I just really like the coconut on the end, but also if you're not a coconut fan, you won't like it. I love coconut. Let's see. Oh, and Sky says he doesn't put sweetener in his cream because the cream itself is plenty sweet. So, let's see. Yeah, and Carrie is mentioning that you know, cream in and of itself is kind of pricey to be making in large batches of ice cream. And Renee says she still has the Bustelo for the daily brew. That's what we use for our morning espresso. Oh, and Brenda, my suite is open to all. So anytime you want a coffee, if I'm not in there, give me a ping right on Facebook and say, hey, Maitreya, when do you open in your suite? And I will let you know when I will be in there to host. And I hope that we do some of the same things we did last year. I know that Shelly and Heath aren't making it this year. So, but other live streamers will be there. And last year what we did was we would invite people into the suite and we would hook up to the big TV and we all had like a, you know, we all chatted together and I put out some charcuterie. I shared some of the egg white bread. We had a nice time. I really liked it. And some of us that too, when the crowd of people is just too much and we wanted to just be smaller or just get away for a few minutes, come hang out. I am easily overstimulated, but a lot of times that is, we like to, I like to just actually slip out on my bike and go down by the waterfront. So sometimes you will see me in the lobby just kind of disappearing away on my bike. Renee, thank you. And honestly, it's my pleasure. I super dig on entertaining. And I like putting all my stuff out and sharing. And even though, and unfortunately, she's not here to relive the mistake. But last year, Heath and I almost killed Shauna because we had some of what was it? I think it was a habanero cheese that I didn't think was hot. And I was like, oh, the cheese mellows it out. And now I was going to give Shauna a little piece, but Heath gave Shauna a pretty sizable piece. Oh, there's our casserole. Hang on a second. Let's not burn the counter. It's good. Let me grab that out. So also you can't see it as much on the camera, but the edges are all browned and it's kind of golden on top. Sometimes I would be glad to go around to the camera and kind of hold this up so you get a better view of it. But can I be honest? This is scorching hot. I don't trust myself. I am 100% that clumsy nerd, and I just see myself burning myself and making a mess. So you'll have to forgive me today. You can see the toastiness. There we go. You can see the toastiness. So we'll set this to the side. And like I said, I'll be dividing this up into containers to freeze for meals. Here's my stuff. And we'll do a little scoop of it right now. And also that way you can see, I'll show you, you know, if there were thoughts about the greasing of the pan. I want you to be able to see, comes right out totally clean, no sticking. And that is because all of the cheesy, delicious fattiness in the casserole. We'll set that there so I can burn myself later. Because you know I will. My fork. So let's see. And Carrie says that it looks good. And let's see. And Sky wishes he could make one of the cons, maybe someday. Yeah, I'd like to make more keto cons, but there's no room because I do nerd cons and I really need those. And Renee says she likes sprinkling a mixture of shredded cheese and pork panko to broil for a yummy crust on top of the cauli casserole. Yeah, that's nice too. That's nice for if you're doing a day of potluck or even the day before where you're going to take and heat it. But because this is going into containers to be frozen, it doesn't heat up as well with the reheat that way. Oh, Carrie, that breaks my heart there. He says like the episode of where Sheldon had his very old Mac to get autographed and then he fell down the stairs and it broke. Crushing. Oh, Jen, I'm sorry. Jen says that the alarm from the timer on the oven went off, startled her, and she was looking all over the car wondering what was broken. No worries, Brian's driving. Well, that's good. So it's still really hot, so I'm letting it, getting some of the steam off of there before I put it in and burn my mouth. So, but like I said, I do think we'll save some of it out because it's delicious. And in the morning, I plan to fry an egg. I plan to heat it up, fry an egg on top, and then have a couple of jalapeno poppers on the side. Delicious. Now, here's the thing I'm going to tell you though. It's delicious. It's great. Do not tell people that it's a mashed potato substitute. This is what turns people off. It's not a mashed potato substitute. It's not a rice substitute. It's a cauliflower dish. Let it stand on its own as a loaded cauliflower dish. Because if people are expecting it to be cauliflower and then it's also delicious, that's the win. And that's true. It's delightful. So, it's perfect. It's great on the holidays. It really goes well with crispy chicken thighs. Let's see. Oh, that's a good idea. Renee says she wonders if you could take some, put it in the dash to make a little fall hash brown. The answer to that is a solid yes. I do make what I call cauli browns with these, and actually I like to do them on the Blackstone, but they work fine baked in the oven as well. You could actually, instead of cooking this in the oven, you would add more egg to it and probably a little more of the Parmesan cheese, and then you just shape it up. It's the same thing if you want to make it into the cauli tots. Yeah, Carrie, I remember that you had the problem with the peppers and breaking you out. It sounds like you might have an allergy, and it's probably to the chlorophyll because you have issues with other green veggies. So it's probably easier to just avoid it than like go through all the testing. The testing is ridiculously intense. And Sharon says, yes, that would be good with her brisket. And Tutu Cat loves the hash brown idea. Yeah, they're really good. We like those. I forget about it though. We haven't had them in a while. So, okay. Anyways, oh, that's what I was going to tell you, even though it's almost time. So yesterday, we went to the farmer's market, which is what we usually do on Saturday. Had a nice coffee, sat and chat. I want you guys to know I was having a rough day. I was like not the best person to be around. So give it up to Attila, you know, who is still the best companion ever, and said, you know what, it's just a couple miles to the farmer's market, and then we can go and we can ride our bikes and look at garage sales. Come on. And talked me into it. I was like resisting, and I was like getting in my own head, and I was just, man, I was just not a great person in the morning yesterday. Whatever it was. Anyways, but so we went out, and at that time, by the time we came back here, Attila and I both were not in the best headspace, and I said, I have a dumb idea. I saw Trek advertising that if you went and you did a test ride on their e-bikes, that you could get a scratch off and get a coupon for in-store. And I said, let's go test e-bikes because, you know, I'm planning to buy one with my bonus this come this winter anyways. Because I've seriously been thinking that it would be nice if we had one less car in our family. One less car and also better health, but also, yes, you can run small errands on the bicycle. Yes, you can commute to the office on a regular bicycle. But let's face it, are you going to Costco? Are you going, you know what? Once you get enough stuff on the bicycle, it's tough. It's tough. And I'm at a point where if I want to replace a vehicle, e-bike is the way to go. You still get the same workout that you do on a regular bike. Because there's a lot of talk from people who are like, oh, cheaters riding the e-bike. No, you still get the same workout. You still have to put work into it. It's just that you are moving faster and going further because you're going faster. So we went to the, we went to the Trek store. I think that we test rode on the e-bikes long enough that they might have been wondering, like, man, are they coming back? Well, we know where they live because all the bikes they buy here. So, but I really had fun. So let's see. And the unfortunate thing is that the one that I want doesn't come in a small enough size for me. But the one that does fit me, I rode it, and I had it in my head that I was like, but it's not the sport version that I want. However, it does all the same things. It's just not as sporty looking. It does all the same things. It has the same battery. It has all the same drivetrain. So, and the other cool thing is that it is bright yellow. It's safety yellow. I just love it. So, I think that I have found my bike that I'm going to buy this winter when my bonus comes in. And Sky says he loves the electric e-bike. He runs all over Mexico on his. Oh, Renee's got a tip for us all. She learned this week to crack her duck eggs on the counter, not on the edge of the bowl, because the shells are thicker and crumble into the bowl. And then, oh, that is a good tip. You know what? I do both with my eggs. Sometimes on the flat surface and sometimes on the edge. On the flat surface with all eggs does tend to give me a better result. So that's a good tip. I like that. You said it right on the money, right there, Sky. Step through and fitting shortness. And that's what the one I tested it was. It was a step through. We tried the small on the sport version, which I have a small in my Damane, and you know, it's a squeeze. I do, you know, it's not a 100% fit, but it's pretty good and I do well on it. And so I thought that with the e-bike I could ride the small, but it was definitely just like, it was way too big for me. I could not get myself onto the seat. And you know what, for the Trek guy was like, it doesn't fit you. You can't, this is not the bike for you. So I got to give him that, because a lot of them a lot of places might have tried to tell you you could make it work. And he was like, it's not going to work. Let's get, and he really pushed me. I was like, I don't want the Verve though. I was resisting, and he's like, try it. You've never been on an e-bike, give it a try. And as it turned out, other than the fact that I like the sportier look of the other one, I can't deny that this bike fit me like a glove. So, yep. And Carrie says we won't go quackers trying to crack duck eggs with the tip from Renee. That, I don't know why I had trouble in saying that, but yep. So, and Sky says, fat tires, 4 inches for off-road, 5'3". Ah, so you're taller than me, but, you know, not by a ton. I am right at that 5 foot. So, Yeah, extra small bikes, which are hard to come by. And I gotta say, that's part of what made me love the Trek brand. And that is that they do have a huge variety of bikes in extra small. So I'm loving it. And the other thing they told us was that for cargo, because we were also looking at their Fetch 2, the cargo bike. And they were like, don't do it. The cargo bike is great if you've got little kids because you can stack your 2 kids in there. I know that sounds funny. It's there's safety seats and everything, the whole 9 yards. You're not really stacking them into like a cargo tray, but it's just a big area on the back. I mean, that's what we were looking at, and he was like, don't do it. You get yourself regular e-bikes and then get you a Burley trailer and hook it on. They're very easy to hook and unhook, and then we can swap it back and forth with ease, no matter whose e-bike we're using. So I was like, I think that I was already saying I wanted the e-bike this winter. I just hadn't decided which one. And I'm really glad that we went and did that test drive because I feel like it helped me make some decisions. Should they suddenly decide to make their fancy smancy sporty one in extra small, 100%, that's what I'll go for. But if not, I'm okay with the choice that I rode yesterday. All right, everyone, it's time. I'm gonna get going. I'm gonna finish eating my little portion of casserole here, finish my coffee, and I know I said I was gonna film, but I'm probably gonna film in the morning because, frankly, I want to play video games. There you go. All right, you all have a lovely evening. I was so glad to see everybody tonight, and good to see many of you again. And I will talk to you all real soon. You have a great one. Bye-bye. If I can find my mouse. All right, bye for reals. Good night.